Polar Bear Club, Ray Falk was the president and kind of my mentor, teaching me how to be the president there. And he was inviting the guys to be members of the Elks Lodge, the San Pedro Elks Lodge 966. And I asked him, I go, well, can women be members? And he said, you want to be a member? Yes. They had a pool. I joined for the pool. I still swim in the ocean. I'm hardly in that pool. And so I joined, and I came in, and the current, at the time, the Exalted Ruler asked me to be their chaplain because he knew I went to church, and so I could be their chaplain, and they needed one. Okay, fine. So I had to memorize the 3 prayers, and okay, did fine, and then I became assistant interguard and assistant chaplain and went from various positions there. And then I backed off when I was taking care of my mom when she had gallbladder surgery and my dad. And then I went back and did more and just was a member. Went to meetings most of the time. A lot of people don't. And that's where you get to know a lot more of what goes on at the Elks Lodge. So when the lodge burnt down April 15th, 2014, it was a big tragedy. But we went over and we had meetings at different other venues within town. The Masons Lodge, the Dalmatian Hall. Then we got a double-wide trailer in the parking lot. And we had meetings there, and we had the whole place packed. We had the Faithful 40. And working on rebuilding the building, we kept the same Exalted Ruler, we kept the same trustees because they were working with the city, with the insurance, with the building commission, the building and safety, everybody, they knew everybody, and if we were to change it every year, it would have been an inconsistency and a learning curve. Once we got in the building, ready to reopen, we had 7 days of parties planned, and the pandemic canceled it. So we had a quiet reopening, which was great. So we're open, and we have outdoor seating, so we were able to serve food. But we still had meetings because we had to get the business of the lodge done. Because the lodge is more than a restaurant and bar and the pool and the tennis courts and the gym. There's a fraternal organization, and there's things that you have to do in order to keep everything going. So we kept having meetings, and then last year, 2022, after taking care of my parents for 15 years, my dad had a stroke in between the hemispheres, and on January 10th, he passed away, 3 days shy of 100 years old. And mother, who may have had some dementia before, went to stage 6. So I was taking care of her. And then April 6th, she passed away. And the people who were really there for me were my elks. The Exalted Ruler at the time, Mike Bennison, he was at my house changing locks, fixing stuff, whatever I needed, he was there, a shoulder to cry on. And then in October, I had to put my dog down. My dog got a mouth cancer that was very aggressive, very quick. The last day of the dog's life, we had an event at the Elks Lodge over by the pool, and I had the dog sitting on the side because I couldn't leave him. But again, my Elks friends were there for me. At that point, I started putting my heart into the Elks Lodge. As leading knight, that's the position which is really leading up to Exalted Ruler. And the past Exalted Rulers who are an advisory committee, they look to see what you're doing for the lodge. And they recommend whether to put somebody up against you in an election if they see that you might not be fitting the Exalted Ruler position. Because the Exalted Ruler is the CEO and president of the organization on a local basis. So I was nominated. Nobody was nominated against me, which I was surprised, because a lot of people thought that the people at the Elks Lodge couldn't handle a woman being Exalted Ruler because they didn't understand it, or they were the lodge fought women coming in for a few years after the Grand Lodge said women are allowed. They didn't fight me because throughout going through the chairs, I had proven that I loved the lodge, that I want us to succeed, and I want our events to bring in money for our charities. So on that fourth Monday meeting, I was voted in by acclamation. And I am the first female Exalted Ruler of San Pedro Lodge number 966 in 118 years.